Take a few days and just listen to a lot of music and try to pay attention to what it is that you like about that music. Do it at the spot that you're mixing at or on your setup, like with your actual monitors in your room or with your headphones on that you use for mixing, and do it with the same volume, the same listening volume every single time. It sounds so dumb and so obvious, but most people never really do that. They listen to music in the car all the time or on earbuds or on their home, hi-fi, whatever, the TV, phone, whatever.
This is the Self-Recording Band Podcast, the show where we help you make exciting records on your own, wherever you are, DIY style. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Self-Recording Band Podcast. I am your host, Benedikt Hein. I am a mixing engineer. My studio is called Outback Recordings. And at the studio, we are mixing about 250 songs per year. Many of these songs are DIY recordings done at home studios, jam spaces, etc. So not always professional studios, which means we know a lot about the problems that people typically have when they record themselves. And this is why we created this podcast to help you make your recordings sound better and more exciting. If that sounds like something you need, you're in the right place. We have more than 200 episodes at this point. If you're already a listener, thanks for coming back. So cool to have you again. Just so you know, this is available on YouTube, but also on all kinds of podcast platforms. So if you're discovering this on YouTube, know that you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you enjoy podcasts and listen there. This is our primary thing. And if you're discovering this on a podcast platform and you prefer to watch, then go to YouTube and watch there. All right. So today is going to be, I think, the shortest episode probably that I've ever done. And it's on purpose because it's a very simple assignment that I have for you today. A very simple challenge. What I've noticed lately with people that I work with in the coaching or with people that I work with when I talk to artists who want me to mix their songs is that a lot of people have no idea what they actually want their songs to sound like or their mixes. So, they learn all the different techniques, they get the plugins, they learn how to use their tools, they try all kinds of like advanced stuff, they, all of that. And that's cool and that's all good. But if you don't know what you're actually trying to do with those tools, it's going to be very hard to really achieve anything. Like it's like shooting an arrow when you're blind, right? You need to see the target. You need to know where, you need to know where you're going. And so one thing that like I said, notice all the time when I talk to these people is like, they ask me, what do I do with my mix? Like I have this song, I want this to sound better. I don't know where to even start. Like I have all these like tutorials, instructions, the feedback even and all that. But like, I just tweak knobs and I don't really know if I'm moving things in the right direction, right? And then I always ask, well, what are you trying to do? What do you want your song to sound like? And then sometimes people don't really know, oftentimes actually. So what I want you to do before you listen to the next episode that comes out next week, or any of our previous episodes, take a few days and just listen to a lot of music and try to pay attention to what it is that you like about that music. What makes you feel a certain way? What is it that you enjoy about it? Which emotions does the music create when you listen to it? How does it make you feel? And then also think in like broad terms when it comes to you comparing your music, your mixes to those songs that you listen to then. Think in, is this brighter than my mix? Is this darker than my mix? How loud are the individual elements in these mixes? Like how loud are the vocals compared to where my vocals are? How loud are the guitars? Where are things panned? What is left? What is right? What is in the center? Like all these things, but very broad. Don't get too specific. Like it's not about knowing the exact hertz numbers of the EQ curves or whatever. It's like none of that. It's just brighter or darker, louder or quieter, wider or more narrow, left or right, right? Like these broad decisions. Do that every single day and pay attention to those things when you listen to music, and then compare it to your mixes or your recordings and do the same thing. If I promise you, if you do that for a couple of days in a row, you will automatically get better and you'll have more clarity when it comes to what to actually do when you start mixing or recording, for that matter, like any of that. One important thing here is try to do it, or not try, but do it at the spot that you're mixing at, or on your setup, like with your actual monitors in your room or with your headphones on that you use for mixing. Do it on the same system, the same setup, and do it with the same volume, the same listening volume every single time. Do that for like a week or so. Every single day, 1 hour, let's say, you listen to music that you like at the same volume. You compare it to your mixes or your recordings, whatever, at the same volume, always the same volume, the same monitoring system, everything the same. And you just pay attention to those things. Bonus tip, if you can use a frequency analyzer that you can also look at when you do that, even better. So if you can import those songs into your DAW, or if you have a tool like a plugin, a standalone plugin host where you can run, when you listen to Spotify or whatever, you can run that plugin host on your computer and insert an analyzer and then look at the frequencies, for example, when you listen to Spotify. That's even better. Because that way you don't just hear the differences, you also visually see the differences, or you can confirm your assumptions. If you think something's brighter and then you look at the analyzer, you'll see that there's more high frequency, for example. But even if you just listen, do that for 1 hour every single day for the next couple of days, and then try to mix again, and you'll have much more clarity. Because honestly, like, it sounds so stupid, it sounds so dumb and so obvious, but most people never really do that. They listen to music in the car all the time, or on earbuds, or on their home hi-fi, whatever, the TV, the phone, whatever. And then they work at their studio setup, but they don't listen to music there. They don't really know what music is supposed to sound like on their system. They have no idea of the target. And also sometimes many people that just have not developed their taste really yet when it comes to music production. They have never thought about the panning of their favorite songs, the volume balances in their favorite songs, the brightness, darkness, of their favorite songs, how punchy things are, whatever. Most people have never really done that intentionally. I've been mixing professionally for 15 years now, and I still do this every single day before I start to mix. I calibrate my ears. I sit down here, I put on a song or two and just listen and like recalibrate my ears so that I really know what my system sounds like. And I've been doing this for so long, I wouldn't even have to do it really, but I still do it. And I get better every single time I do. Even when I'm doing things like, I clean up the studio or whatever, I have music on in the background on my monitors. So subconsciously, I'm again constantly training myself, and I'm learning what my system, my setup, my room actually sounds like. And when I sit down to mix and I get new tracks to mix, I hit play and I can immediately tell within a couple of seconds, I can say, oh, this kick drum is too loud, or there's too much upper mid-range in these guitars, or those vocals are too quiet, or whatever. I immediately hear it because I know what it sounds like when it's good in here. I immediately know, not in a different room, but in here immediately. I also know how loud something is mastered. I hit play and I'm like, oh, that's loud. Or I hit play and I'm like, oh, that seems to be quieter, maybe more dynamic, whatever, because I know what a loud mastered song sounds like in this room. And I know what like more dynamic, quiet songs sound like. I'm just calibrated like that. And so that is going to be, I think, the number one thing that will help you move forward if you've never done that. If you already have done that and you know what things sound like, then of course there's other things to do. But if you've never done that, that's going to be the main game changer, honestly. That's going to be the thing that's going to make the most difference for you at the moment. So yeah, that's basically it. Do this for a couple of days, listen to a lot of music, and don't make it too complex. Think very simply, very broad. Brighter, darker, left, right, loud, quiet, and compare that to your own stuff. All right, that's it. That's the challenge, the assignment. Do that, and I'll see you next week on this podcast. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.